Have any of you guys seen my tripod? Because, oh, I mean, welcome to the worm, all that we go through every week. I can't find it anywhere. I did find, remember this doorknob I put on here? It's really nice when you're building and you got your hands full because it's a lever you push down. And then somehow it got pointed out that that's a great way to let a bear into your house. And there's no doubt, like, any animal tall enough could just like lean on that and walk right in. So I'm gonna put this on, but I think I'm gonna wait until the bears could possibly wake up. I don't think they're out and about right now. I haven't seen any signs in a long time. And I think the next tallest thing, I don't know if a coyote would try to get in the door. Maybe they would. But I want to get started on this bed, the flip out part of this bed. I think last week milled up some boards, made my bed in the cabin, put a box on the back side that opens up for storage. So when I lay there and have my computer and mouse out, I have a place to set my mouse. You don't care, right? Bottom line, it's a beautiful bed and it came from a chainsawed tree, like everything. So we'll get started on that as soon as I can find my freaking tripod. Why am I looking in the garage? It is definitely not in here. Oh, I guess it could be on the four-wheeler. Nope, not there, not there, not there. Oh, I forgot about these. I found these a year or two ago. Whenever I built this garage, these cool old, I mean, they're not that cool because they're rip-offs, but I thought it would be cool to put these all over the outside, these old oil signs. I'll leave those right there so I don't forget to put them up. I don't know where else to look. It seems like I've been everywhere around here. Maybe I left it in here. I see a tripod, but not the tripod. Well, maybe I'll just lay in bed all day. If I can't film, then there's no sense in building. No, we'll find it. I tell you, if you ever wake up in the morning and you feel slightly undermotivated to do what you got to do, wait till you're really hungry. Go stand out in your yard when it's snowing and make French toast. Really wakes you up. It gets you going. Come on, baby. Nope, not under there. Not up there. Well, I guess you don't need to see me search for this thing. See you in a couple minutes to a couple hours when I found that damn thing. Man, I shoveled my tent deck off a couple times, but it keeps getting gets thicker and thicker, that snow. That's all, like, it falls on there, it melts a little bit, gets really heavy, ices over, falls again. Kind of needs to be taken care of. Also trying to remember the boards for the flip out side of the bunk. I don't remember if they're all stashed under there or, yeah, we got a lot of good scraps. So we're gonna do flip out, so when my girlfriend comes to visit, she'll have a place to sleep. And then on this wall, I want to make it so, you know, when you're sleeping, you can lay flat. When you wake up, I sit here a lot to edit videos and stuff. I want it to be able to fold out and have it for a backrest. So let's figure out how to do that. And then, I mean, those are the two things I need to do. And then I'd like to, at some point, do some shelves up there. No telling if we'll get to it in this video or not. As I've said a bunch of times, I've saved some more of these boards. This 2-inch cedar that I made this out of, that's really pretty. So I'd like to do as many shelves out of that as I can. Maybe at some point, bookshelf here, some shelves up here. I mean, I need a place to put my clothes, which I do keep in bins, actually. If you look out there on my tent deck, those bins have all my clothes in them. So every time I shower over there, I walk out there, I stop by that, shovel the snow off the top of the bins, you know, get some clothes out, go shower. But winter time, when I do end up staying in here, probably slide all my bins under there. And you guys probably remember I made this just high enough to put water buckets under here. So that's my shower water. And since I have the heater, my shower water no longer freezes. My drinking water under there. But that will end up being good storage there. And then everything else, of course, is going to have to be on shelves. Okay, this time I'm for real. You will not see me again until I find that tripod. But just tell me, did you see it in the last couple minutes of filming here? Did you see it in the background? It's black, folds up about this big, stands about yay high. I'll keep my headphones turned off, so if any of you want to yell, yeah, we saw it, you big dummy, it was right in front of your face, I'll hear it. Ah! What kind of lunatic would put a tripod in an area like that? Especially on a day like this. Gosh. Alright, so here's what I'm thinking. This part of the bed, that's 1 inch, and then it's basically like this, 1 inch well, this is 3/4, and then it has some 2x4-y stuff underneath it for supports. This one that flips out I can't do it that way because it would be like this. I'd essentially have to lay on it in order to be able to flip it out and have the same style of construction. So that's not going to work. The only thing I can think to do, so it has to be smooth on both sides, is to put a bunch of boards together like this, another set of boards that fills this entire area the opposite direction. I think maybe a set of 3/4 inch boards like that with a lot of screws holding it together might be strong enough that it won't flex. But the way I've done this before, like the bed in the man cave and the deer castle, they both flip out and they're kind of like this, so the bed flips out and this is on a hinge and that's your leg. Not really big on laying on that hinged leg, so we'll have to do removable legs somehow. So I'm thinking this flips out. Well, we don't have to think about it too hard. Let's just make the rectangle here. I was thinking it could have like a bolt sticking out the top of it a little bit, and then the bottom of the bed I could drill the same size hole so you could just grab the legs and set it on there. Probably just need one leg there, one leg there, and then this could just have a block on the wall. You can never tell if any of my ideas make sense until I build them, so let's go for it. Oh, and check this out. I know a lot of people don't understand this. This maybe isn't a normal YouTube channel, but living out here the last three years, all I do for entertainment is build stuff. And the part of the building I like is the figuring out. It's not necessarily looking stuff up, asking really smart people how you do stuff. I just like to wing it. Well, like this, I'm just gonna build it, see how it works, and if there are problems, I'll rip it apart or rebuild it. However, some nice soul on Patreon did say, so when I built this, I milled the lumber for the floor joists. I didn't figure insulation because I don't figure that far ahead. That would be like, I don't know, weeks ahead, and I don't do that. So at some point, because this floor is disgusting, I'm going to build up, insulate and build up, and then have a beautiful floor on top. Until then, when it gets really cold out, this floor freezes. Like it'll be, I don't know, last week it was a few degrees below Fahrenheit, and the floor is just ice. So somebody suggested on Patreon this insulation stuff. I really can't imagine that it's going to work that well, but check it out. This is it's 2 layers of bubble wrap. It's only like an 1/8 or 1/16 inch thick with foil on the outside. This is enough. Well, they only sold these big jumps in sizes, so I could only get a roll that was not enough to do this whole thing, or jump up and get enough to do it like 2 or 3 times. So this, if I slice it down the middle and make 2-foot strips, will fit right up underneath the floor joists, and you just put it up there, and then the edges you leave a little bit, you staple it to the sides. I don't know, I kind of can't imagine that something this thin is going to make any difference, but I'm going to do it. It'll hold a tiny bit of heat in, and if it keeps the floor from freezing for the rest of the winter, that'd be pretty sweet. Because of course, I have no idea when I'll get around to doing the new floor and the insulation here. And if it makes any difference at all, I have enough to do the floor in the man cave, and I could even do the ceiling in there. I mean, once I get moved out of there, moved into here, that is just a tool room. It does have that propane heater, so of course it'd be nice to hold a little more heat in than, happens already with no insulation. But as soon as I get my bed done, I'm gonna rip into this thing, try it out, hope for the best. I think it was like $150 for this. It's also enough if Tito wants to do it when he gets his cabin together, he can insulate with this. It's definitely weird stuff, but I think it'll be really easy to work with. Like, you can insulate a whole floor in a day, so we'll see. Oh, aren't these nice boards? What's that, probably 15, 18 inches or something? I think that's 3/4. Could use that to go sideways. Got this marked, I think this is exactly the size of the thermarest, here to here, and then I set the box back in there so that when this flips out it doesn't catch this lid, because it's got that live edge and some of it sticks out quite a ways. So I think I'm just going to lay these boards on here, try to get one edge right there, let this hang over this, and then once they're all laid in place, I guess I could even screw a bunch of them together and then snap lines and cut it all as one piece. Of course, this wood is really wet, and by the time I get all of it screwed together, it's going to be really heavy, but I'm feeling man enough. My rib is significantly better, by the way. Still kind of sticking out the back a little bit, but I don't really feel it now picking stuff up. I mean, I probably shouldn't go, you know, try and lift giant logs onto the sawhorses or anything, but man, it just takes like one little injury to realize how good you have it. I mean, I got a lot of injuries, bad joints, surgeries, all that stuff to put me back together. But you forget, like, you know, you go through a normal day and you're like, oh God, my knee hurts and my tendons and my wrist hurt and everything. But then you do something pretty serious and you go, oh, it actually wasn't really so bad. It's great to be able to move around and do this stuff again without a lot of pain. Let's just cut it off a little bit long. Watch your feet. Get your... Always in the way. Man, this stuff is still really wet. This must have been some of the lumber I left out in the snow. Oh, man. Well, it's 1 inch short. Oh, I can shove this one in. I think we'll get the whole thing out of 3 boards. Perfect. Come on, please fit, please fit. Oh, look at that. With a 1/4 inch to spare. Nice. Rip the edges off of that one. Well, I'm gonna have to go dig through my scrap pile. Or maybe I just have one long 3/4 inch board left out there. We'll find something. Can always find something. If not, we can make something. Found some. It's frozen, but then again, what isn't out here? Oh, I don't know. That's a little bit pretty to... Oh yeah, bad spot. Perfect. We'll use that. Is this gonna work? You think this can be strong enough and not bend in the middle? Huh. Well, I guess we could build some like other supports underneath it if you needed when you flipped it out. I don't know. Let's just see. Didn't have enough of the silver ones or the gold ones, so I'm switching to drywall screws because I don't really have a use for those anymore. That ought to do it. I dragged this outside to cut it. I guess I could do it in here. It's kind of a lot of sawdust. And I kind of wish I'd run the hand planer over these first. This side's going to get laid on by me, so maybe I'll run the pad sander over this side just to get some of those splinters out there. Just don't want it to pop my mattress. The other side doesn't have screws in it yet, so I guess maybe we could plane that real quick. These are kind of big snowflakes. Really don't want to get this all wet. And it's easier to clean up the dust in here. Yeah, this is kind of flexible still. It is pretty heavy though. I guess heavy like a sheet of plywood. Might as well route the edges of these off. See if we got a good bit here. I don't know if this is going to work too well with these not being even, but I guess it's better to give it a go than to pop a bed pad. That's actually good. Still plenty of graininess. I didn't dig it out too bad, just took the tops off. I like that. Okay, now that it's trimmed down and rounded off, I think it looks pretty cool. I'm gonna have to sink. God, I hate sanding in here. It's snowing even harder now though. Guess I'm just gonna sink all these and sand it in here. It'd be hard to sand too since this is all wet. Maybe I just have to wait till since this is going to be the upside, I'll just leave it like this. And just before I move all my junk in here, maybe next week. How many times have I said it's only a week or two away? All I gotta do is the bed and a couple shelves, then I moved in. But until then, this part will be facing up, so that'll be drying out. I might even put a little fan on it or something, and I'll sand it just before I come in here. So how do we hinge that sucker? Oh yeah, still got one of these big old 5-foot piano hinges. Unfortunately, this bed's like 6.5. Well, might work. It's not too bad. I did this. I think I had 2 of these hinges. I used one of them on my bunk in the man cave. And the only issue is here, if you sat on the end of it, there's kind of a lot of force right there. I don't think anybody's going to be putting a lot of force here because this will be butted up there. Oh, actually, you know what I wish I'd done on the other one is just drill more holes in this hinge. Might need a little bit of lubrication. Yeah, you can see on the end of this, there's a screw here, but nothing here for the first 4 or 5 inches. So what I might do is, I might put a second screw hole there and maybe 2 there. I think that'll make a big difference. Because otherwise you've got the better part of a foot here where it's not really attached to the bed. And if you sit on it, I'm afraid it'll rip out. This one's a little bit closer to the end, but still drill a couple more holes in there. Hey, you guys know it's my firm belief that nobody should try to learn anything from watching my videos, but let me tell you a little something. Maybe a few of you don't, maybe everybody knows this. I didn't know this until recently, and where did I learn it? YouTube. I kind of grew up with my dad, like in a wood shop kind of thing, so we, always working with 2x4s and plywood and stuff like that. Not metalwork at all. So the few times I've had to drill holes in metal, I've always had a hard time. I think this might be aluminum. This feels pretty soft. It's not going to be a problem. But I've often had the problem where you use a drill bit to drill through a sheet of metal. Oh, like when I made the end plates for my mill. You know those big fat end plates? They're probably 3/8 to 1/4 inch of steel. And like when you use a drill bit in wood, you just, I don't know, push it as hard as you need to push it so it's cut and it doesn't bog the drill down, no problem. In metal, I always went, I think, consistently too soft, like not push it hard enough. You should get that spring looking spiral of metal coming out of it. If you're not pushing hard enough, from the very beginning, it just dulls the edge of your drill bit. So you imagine just setting it on a hard piece of metal, pulling the trigger, barely pushing it down, and it's just spinning and knocking the edge off. So let's see. I've only drilled a few pieces of metal since I learned that. I'm going to see how it goes. Push harder when you're drilling out metal. Of course, I can hear you saying, but not too hard. Yeah, not too hard. And use oil, any kind of oil if you got it. so you don't overheat the bit. Push just hard enough to get that twisty twist. I'm not going to use any oil because this isn't very hard or thick. Oh yeah, and make sure you're actually using drill bits that are good for metal and not just wood. I think these would be fine. Not getting the twisty twist, but it's cutting. Well, it went through, so that's good. Yeah, actually, you know what? As usual, just don't listen to me. Maybe I don't know what. I might be making all this crap up. There it is. I pushed a little bit harder and got the full twist the whole way, and it cut a lot faster. I'm just always afraid to push too hard, you know? It's got quite a bit of flex in it. I mean, that's the long ways, which it's not going to flex, but... I don't know. Maybe that's good. So let's see, it's going to flip like that. So the hinge should go right there, right? I'm probably going to have to go back and sink these in the thickness of the hinge. Otherwise, I'm gonna have some sharp edges. Actually, before I screw these down, maybe I should just file those edges. I don't think I'm gonna sink them in now. I don't really have a good way to do it. It'd take me a long time to do it with a chisel. These screws stick up a little bit too far. That might be a problem. Well, I guess I'll take it all off and drill these holes a little bigger. Actually, there's space for them. It will fit. Yeah, those are going to need to be sunk in there, the whole hinge though. Or it's not going to sit flat on here. It's going to bow the boards. I forgot, I have a plunge bit for this thing. I bet that'll work to take that out nice and flat. Yeah, this one ought to work pretty well. It's nice when you find you accidentally have the right tool for the job. That's going to work nicely. Just work it back to the line. Should be set in exactly 3 millimeters. That's what we need. That worked great. I'm very proud of myself. Not because of my skills with the router, but that my first impulse wasn't to grab a chainsaw to do this. Oh, that's nice. That's really nice. Sweet. That's cool, huh? I mean, to you it just looks like a bunch of boards, but to me it's a nice warm place to sleep with a friend. Always sleep with friends, it's warmer. Maybe we'll just put a couple screws in and see if it actually folds. Uh-oh. We got a problem. Something's not straight. there's like a 1/2 inch gap on this end. I wonder if the edge of this was curved out and I laid this on top, traced a line underneath and then cut it to fit, and now we've got 2 bowed edges. That's significantly not going to work. I guess I could take that screw out, make the middle of them fit, and then put a small gap on each end. That seems like the easiest thing to do. Let's do that. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Bummer. Unfortunately, I can't take it apart and recut it. This must have had the bow in it, and the 2-inch or the 1-inch cedar boards on top of it are cut to match that. I don't know if you can see how much it's not straight there. That would take a significant amount of work to straighten it out, so let's not worry about it. It'll be one of those things, if I remember when I take this all apart to plane and varnish and everything, maybe I'll straighten that out. Let's be honest, probably not. I think it's going to be fine. Just finished my last book and looked at the library app. I found Desert Solitaire, which I haven't read since I was probably in college or something. Which is good, because I remember I loved it, but I didn't remember anything about it. That's the case with most books. Alright, let's see if it folds. That's awesome. I'll just open it back up and inset that hinge down on the other side as well. Still enough room here to put my backrest that flips out. It just has to be inside of here when it's retracted so I can still flip this open. Oh, I'm super happy. It's funny, there are just a few things, like when I decided to build this cabin a year ago, there are a few things in my head I knew I wanted. One was a giant, really thick desk. Just for the last few years, I've had this craving to have a big area that I can leave my 3D printer and my microscopes out on. And the other thing I wanted to have was a really cool bed that was all transformery. So it's cool. After a year of basically slave labor out here, it's coming together. I actually really like the way it looks with all those drywall screws in it too. I guess that matters not at all, since you're never going to see them. My bed pad will be on there, but we know. We know. If it falls, you just got to let it go. Ooh. Nice. Let's just fold it one more time to see how it works. Oh, it's lovely. All right, now we need some feet that aren't this garbage. What are we gonna use? I guess I could go find a chunk of firewood. Of course, the firewood's cut at like 16 to 20 inches. I think I need 23 for this. I also haven't started a chainsaw since I accidentally tried to start that new big chainsaw I have for the mill, and it frickin' hurt. I mean, I could just temporarily do these gross 2x4s. Maybe I will do that. Just use garbage wood here, because I want to replace these other 2 feet at some point. You know, once the snow's gone and I can find some wood that's not completely frozen. And I might as well do all 4 at the same time so they all match. Yeah, let's just do 2x4s with like bolts in the top. Oh, I am going to need 3 feet. I was thinking I'd fold out and just put a little block along the wall there, but there's that gap, so that's not going to work. All right, 3 feet. Well, I just dug through all my waste piles and I found exactly what I was looking for, but it's the wood's too nice to chop up for throwaway bed legs. It's got a bad side, but look how pretty that wood is. That's the leftovers from the desk. Once you plane that and freshen it up, it'll look beautiful too. I guess that's not really big enough for much of a shelf. Yeah, when I look around here, there's not really any place that I'm going to put a 2-foot long shelf, but you know, it's just kind of so nice. I know, I can always make more. Okay, this is how we're going to do it. We'll chop them up. found some of these bolts I got at the secondhand building store. I think they were 5 cents a piece, so I got a whole bucket full. You never know when you'll find a use for them. Maybe just leave it sticking up a tinsy bit like that. Flip this up, drill some holes. Be alright for the moment. I don't have a lot of hopes for this. I think it's going to be still too weak, even with 3 legs under there, but let's see. Yep, a lot of flex. I mean, it's certainly not going to break, but when you sit in the middle here, that end lifts up. Probably the leg will fall out of there. Well, I'll think on that while we build the backrest. That's what I'm kind of looking forward to now. Actually, there's enough room. I could fit a 2x something. I mean, it's 1.5 inches, and I could make it as long as I wanted. And my bed pad, I mean, I guess my pad would sit there and right to the very edge. That might work. I mean, it could be a 2x4, 2x6, whatever. I mean, the reason I left that gap is so that you could lift this up without hitting the box lid, but I guess you just have to open the box lid to open the bed. That would be fine. Unfortunately, I don't think I have any long 2x stuff left, at least not 6.5 feet long. And then when you flip it, it would just stay like that to stiffen it up. That's a pretty decent idea. Maybe we'll do that. Yeah, that's the longest one I got cut. That's not gonna do it, but I'm convinced that's the idea. We'll do that as soon as I rip up. I think I have some giant 1.5 inch boards I milled. Actually, I'm pretty sure I have some pretty large, gross ones that are aspen. I could put aspen on there. It's even harder. I don't know if it's stiffer or not, but unfortunately it's all frozen under the tarp right now. I don't even think I could get it out, so we'll do that sometime soon. Let's see how it fits. Oh yeah, there's room for that 2x4 back there. That's good. I think I gotta get out of these dirty clothes before I sit on my bed. See what kind of angle we need. My back is generally not a problem unless I'm sitting. Like sitting in the car, sitting upright is just a bear. So even when I do this in bed when I'm editing videos, I'm always like reclined as far back as I can go. Oh, that's kind of nice. Problem is, it's got to clear the bed to get up here. Unless I just made it where you had to pull the mattress down to get this out. I don't know, that'd be kind of weird. I usually do this on my computer, edit until I'm like, can't keep my eyes open anymore. Just lay down and go to sleep. This, it's not that big a deal, I understand. But I would have to put all this stuff away, get up, move the bed out, flop the thing back, put the bed back. I mean, it's probably a 7-second thing. Maybe it's not that big a deal. All right, how do we do this? Just like we did the flip out bed. 2 layers of 3/4, sandwiched together. It's quite comfortable. Just keep it down for a little bit, would you? Yep, I just fell asleep. Oh, that was really nice. Should make that a part of every day. Man, I don't even know what I was doing now. Oh yeah, I gotta find some lumber. I forgot I had all this stuff milled up. I guess, where do we do that? Maybe the lumber you guys would know better than I did. You probably just saw the video. I think I milled this up just for the bed when we got the new giant mill. We had to try it out on some cedar logs. I think that's when I did it. I'm surprised. I lift up the tarp out here next to the cabin, look underneath. Oh, there's another 3/4 inch board and another and another. Once again, I seem to have planned ahead somehow. I have to find something to do with these scraps. There's like 15-inch wide scraps. I always want to like build boxes out of them or something. Yeah, that sapwood is so wet I can feel it like splashing my face. That's what you want to build with. Good backrest. So just gotta figure a hinge. I got an idea. How about old door hinges? Might as well route it, have a little consistency. Ooh, baby, I should have come in here earlier and turned the heat up. It does wake you up to cook French toast in the cold, but washing your pans and hands with ice water, whew, they're like blocks. I think it's yeah, it's 20 degrees out right now. Not too bad. Nice and calm, nice and sunny. It's a perfect day to get this finished up. I folded this thing out and left it like this last night, so it hasn't been that long. Oh, and my backrest, I just threw the hinges on there. The sapwood was so wet that I stuck it up here, and I noticed the humidity went up 5% overnight. And it could be partly because I turned the temperature down. Let's see, the warmer it is, the more humidity it can hold. I don't know. It's definitely higher now than it has been in a month. So I guess that means the wood's drying out. That's a good thing, right? Right. And actually, is it possible? It does feel lighter. Oh, you turd. I put the hinges on the wrong side. It's supposed to go this way. That's funny because I actually set it up there with the hinges on it too. Somehow I didn't notice. Maybe it was just too dark. All right, we'll switch those out. I was thinking about just swinging it up, jamming my thermarest under there, and then letting this sit on it, but I think eventually that'll probably rub a hole through the thermarest. So I need some kind of a kickstand. I guess I could just do another piece of this, put it up against the wall or on the back of this, and it just fall into place. Ooh, yeah, maybe it'd fall that way as you pulled it out. Of course, that's gonna mean I can't go up against the wall. It's gonna have to, the hinges are gonna have to be attached like out the thickness of the kickstand, I guess. Is that gonna work? I think it goes like that. Screw this to the wall. I don't know. Gotta go like that somehow, and then I gotta get under there to screw it in. I could just get one screw in and get it in the right spot. That's close. Yeah! Whew, we did it. I think it'll stay there. Yep. Well, it's not quite level. Maybe I could do it with my skull. Dead battery. forgot the kickstand. Damn it. So there you are. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. You wake up, you realize you gotta do a little work on the computer. You stand up like a schmuck. And then you do something like that. Is that the idea? That's pretty good. What's most likely is you wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday and realize you forgot to upload a video. And then you need to, actually, if that's the case, you don't have time for the backrest. You just gotta hustle. Look at that, like that. There's a little block under here. Hey look, old door hinges. You didn't see that coming, did you? Didn't measure it, but that should be close enough. Yeah, that's good. So save your old door hinges. You can build a whole house out of them. Let's see, does it work? Yes, yes, yes. Now if you want, you just lay there, you flip this sucker out, you get all comfy like not bad. Or if you meet somebody, you have room for, yeah, you could fit 4 people on there if you wanted to. Looky there. Now that's the life for me. Isn't it crazy what you can make with a chainsaw and a few trees and zero planning and no real job to go to? This is sweet. I was messing around trying to figure out if I could make something that folds down over here on the other side, but I don't think I really need it because I'm gonna have some shelves right here, probably just stick out, I don't know, 6, 8, 10 inches or something, so they're not like in your face or anything. But going up there, maybe some back there. And the thing with putting a flip down over here, oh, here, I'll show you. So if you're sitting like this, since this is basically my office, I mean, I do have that big table over there, so I guess I'll probably use that quite a bit. I'm just not used to having an actual normal work surface. But if you sit like this, I was thinking it would be cool. Got your mouse here, computer on your lap, and then have another table right here. I don't know, just to put whatever on that you're working on. Oh, it'd actually be cool if it was like a box, if it folded down and like had your charging cords and stuff inside it. But in order to do that, it would have to stick like out to here, and you really wouldn't be able to use the back part of this at all. I think maybe it would just be in the way. Also, when you flipped it up, it would take up that whole wall. I mean, not take up the whole wall, but you wouldn't be able to put shelves all along there, and I think that probably all be shelves too. So I think we're gonna leave it like this. Have to maybe just dump bags of almond M&Ms in here, fill it right up to the top. That'd be pretty fantastic. It's like we basically got through the entire winter here, which was not a very spectacular winter. I mean, we had some days in the negative numbers and some windstorms and some snowstorms, but overall it wasn't really too harsh. But now the winter's basically gone, and I almost have this place done enough to move into. But that's okay. I usually, I think what I'll do is use this place in the winter, basically from the first snowfall in the fall, winter, pack up my tent, come in here, and stay until, you know, whatever we deem as the last snowfall, just before spring gets here. Because the tents I like to stay in the summer are, I like them because they vent really nicely. They're all bug net. But because they're like summer tents or 3-season tents, they can't take much more than like an inch or 2 of snow and they just cave in. So as soon as we get the rest of the shelves up in here, then I can move all the tools out. It'd be like one day, bring all my living stuff, computer, all that crap in here, and take all the tools and put them in the man cave, which is supposed to be a tool shed anyway. And I think the weather's not supposed to be too bad, so I should be able to get most of it done in the next 2 or 3 days. Look what I found. That's a start. You put them in there, they multiply if you wait long enough. I was thinking about doing this stuff, insulating the floor starting tomorrow, but I think I can wait till I moved in here to do that. It's not going to take any tools or anything. I won't have to make any messes in here. Yeah, so maybe I'll do that next week. Do it just as the temperature really warms up. Well, I'm going to go dig through all my lumber piles and see what I've got for shelf material. You guys probably remember that I have 3 or 4 of these boards left, this spalted cedar stuff that I use for the table. I think there were at least 3 of these left, and this is that full length? I think it is. I think they were like 9 feet or something, and 12 inches wide or something, so that would be, when you could use 1.5 boards there, would make 3 shelves. Might do some little shelves here with scraps. I'd like a couple up there. Maybe I'll put some, I could make some cedar boxes to put like hats and stuff in. And then something on the back wall. I don't know. Still haven't figured out what I'm going to do with all my clothes and that kind of stuff, but that doesn't matter. I mean, nothing's changed out here since I moved out of a tent. What was it, 2.5 years in a tent, and then kind of just scooted over into the man cave? So it's not like this thing has to be perfect just to live in it. It's good enough that it has 4 walls and a heater and insulation. So thanks for watching. See you next Saturday morning. We'll dig out those big fat boards, and then I actually have a log set up on the sawhorse that Tito helped me with. He helped me put it up there because of my busted rib, but it's all set to mill. I think I'm well enough to mill now. I mean, there's only one way to find. We'll find out. We'll find out next week. Thanks for watching.